Hello, it's me again. It's been so long since I've done a video. I think last January was the last one I did, and it's now like October 11th. So I thought I'd just give a quick update and let you know how I'm doing and what I'm doing. And so last January, I had the breast cancer diagnosis in November, and in January, still nothing had happened yet. In February, I think the beginning of February, I went to University of Minnesota for my surgery. Everything went great with the surgery. Actually, way better than expected. So everything went well with that. However, once I got home, about 5 days later or so, I got really, really sick. And I mean really sick. My husband drove me to the emergency room. They diagnosed me with Diff, which apparently I got from being on the antibiotics during surgery. That was horrible. It just about killed me. From there, I thought I was getting better, and then it's almost like I relapsed. Took me back to the emergency room, and they said it was the same thing again. Things continued. They continued to get worse. I saw a GI doctor. I went, in the end, all said and done, I went almost 75 days with no food. It was bad. I was literally on my deathbed. I moved up to my daughter's room because I just couldn't come up and down the steps. So I moved into her room and pretty much lived in there. Of course, husband's been on the road. He's over the road now, so he's actually he's home on weekends for his restart, and then he heads out again. And then this whole COVID thing, hit, and I was sick. I was still healing from surgery, which was really, really rough because I had no nutrition. At some point, finally, they had to start radiation for me. I didn't have to do chemo, but I did have to go through it was over a month of chemo every day except for Saturday and Sunday. And for my radiation, that was almost an hour away, about an hour. It finally got to the point where I was so weak and everything was failing. My body was failing. I could feel it. And I begged the doctor to admit me for fluids and nutrition. And he did. I went to radiation that morning. My daughter drove me because I couldn't drive anymore. I was so weak. I had lost 30 pounds. So she drove me to radiation, and right from there, we went to Eau Claire, Wisconsin. I was admitted to the hospital there. By the next day, they had switched over my radiation treatments and everything from University of Minnesota over to Sacred Heart in Eau Claire. They had gotten everything done for me. I started, right back in with my radiation right there when I was admitted in the hospital. I was under the care there for about a week or so, maybe longer. No visitors, of course. And finally got a diagnosis as far as what was going on, what was making me so sick. It almost killed me. My potassium was, you couldn't get any lower potassium without being dead. All my levels were so low. But they finally got a diagnosis of microscopic colitis. The reason why they call it microscopic colitis is they can only see it under a microscope. And the first couple of biopsies he did, it didn't show up. So it was just like months of trying different things and trying different treatments, trying to find the answers, what was going on. We kind of both knew it was, but without the biopsy to show it, he didn't have any proof. So once we got a diagnosis and got treatment, I just bounced right back. I was still doing my radiation every day, driving to Eau Claire, which is an hour and 20 minutes every single day, to finish up my radiation treatments. And now I'm doing hormone therapy for at least 5 years, which isn't pleasant either, but it's a lot better than chemo. So, from there, being released from the hospital, everything was doing really good. So I went right back to work, and I started working like 50 hours a week at the post office. So while trying to recover and heal, and yeah, it just wasn't working out very well. Since then, my hours have been reduced by my doctor, but so that's what's been going on this year. So it's been, as usual, a very eventful year for us here, as every year has been. So, but I did recently, well, I guess late spring, I wanted a new hobby, because when I was sick for so long, all I was doing was watching Food Network and crocheting. And I did a lot of that, but it was kind of boring, you know. So I wanted to do something else for myself. And I've always had trouble finding jewelry that I liked in the store, because I'm really into like leather and metal jewelry. So I thought, oh, I'm going to try this, you know. And I started making some stuff upstairs, you know, on a little desk. And yeah, okay, it was all right. Made a few things, started showing a few people some things, and they really liked them. And I made some more things, and they really liked them, and then they wanted to buy them, and then they are suggesting to me that I should probably start selling the stuff, like maybe get my stuff in some stores. So I really started making stuff, and just I've been learning so much, and making a lot of stuff. In fact, I'm sitting in my studio right now. I've had to move from this little desk upstairs down here. I wonder if I can switch this around to show you my studio. It's always a mess, of course, because I'm always working. If I'm home, I'm working. If I'm not at my job, I'm down here working all the time, sometimes till late at night. I'm currently in two retail stores, and I'm hoping to, of course, get into more stores. And oh, hello, kitty. Get into some more stores, and maybe go full-time at this. My dream is to have my own shop somewhere, and then teach people how to make jewelry, and sell my stuff, maybe sell other people's stuff, whatever. So yeah, here's my studio downstairs, which I've, you know, and when I moved from upstairs down here, I added, you know, this one table, and then that table just wasn't cutting it, and then I had to get this other table, and I still don't have enough room, and all these little compartments and drawers and stuff. And I'll just take a walk over here, and of course my dog is always down here with me. But yeah, it's always a mess, because I'm not only making stuff over here, but I got stuff going on over here that is very interesting, very fun. So yeah, I got some of my jewelry right here. You can see, I don't know how well you can see it, but I make all kinds of different stuff. Not just, I've gone beyond the leather and metal. I do beading. I'm making some really cool stuff with polymer clay, which is absolutely fascinating. I just love working with that. There's the possibilities are endless, and I keep creating more things, more styles. I mean, I have something for everybody here. I just don't make stuff that I like. I mean, I make the stuff I like, but I try to make stuff that people with different tastes and styles would like. So try to stick with the more casual stuff, but so that's what's been going on. So it's been actually, it's weird, because I was just looking back at my old truck driving videos. It's been exactly a year yesterday that I put my notice in for work. And then all of that stuff happen, all the bad news and everything that prevented me from driving truck with Jason. And I don't know, it might happen someday. I don't know. I hope so. But, you know, if this jewelry thing really takes off, because I really do love doing it, but I sure would like to be on the road with him, especially when my 16-year-old is done with high school, and, you know, I don't have to be home here with him. So, so that's it in a nutshell. I probably left a lot of stuff out. You know, every year it's been something, you know. I mean, the first year that Jason and I were even together, I mean, I think we were only dating 3 months, maybe 4 months. He took me to the emergency room the first time. I had a gallbladder attack. We found out it was my gallbladder, and it needed to come out. And so a couple days later, I went down to Eau Claire to have a laparoscopic procedure to get my gallbladder out. You know, very routine. I'm a former surgical tech. I've done literally hundreds of these things. You know, it's a simple surgery. I mean, it's still surgery. There's still risk with it and everything, but, you know, nothing ever happened to any surgeries I've ever been involved with, especially a gallbladder. Well, it just so happens that they took me down to surgery. I told him, you know, kissed him goodbye, said, go get some lunch, you know, go across the street. By the time you get back here, I'll be out of surgery. We'll get out of here and get home. Well, he gets over across the street to get lunch, and he's on his way back, and he gets a phone call. And my heart stopped during surgery. And I woke up, and I thought everything was done, and they were wheeling me somewhere really fast. And I was, you know, pretty groggy from the drugs and everything. And I'm like, oh, hey, you know, surgery's over. My gallbladder's out. And the guy's like, no, ma'am, your heart stopped during surgery, and we just did CPR on you for 6 minutes. I'm like, shut up. I didn't believe him. I mean, that doesn't happen. It did. It happened to me. I mean, if it's going to happen to anyone, it's going to happen to me. So they were rushing me in an ambulance across the street to the hospital, because this was at the outpatient surgery center. They were shipping me over there. And, of course, Jason was there to meet us. I mean, but to get that phone call must have been horrible for him. And so I ended up having cracked sternum, broken ribs, punctured lung. I mean, you name it. I was in so much pain. And I was in there for a week. They thought it was my heart. It come to find out it was not my heart. It was a vasovagal response, you know, usually from insufflation, you know, for the laparoscopic procedure. You know, they fill your belly up with gas, and my vagus nerve just went, ah! And it just shut everything down. So I had a month healing of that. You know, the gallbladder part, that was easy. Healing the sternum and stuff, I still feel it. I still have the pain every day in my sternum and in my ribs and in the back, you know, from the CPR. I'll probably always have that. But that was me and Jason's first year together. So that was pretty crazy. And then last year we had the tornado here on July 19th. And then in November, you know, I had the cancer diagnosis, and then the, you know, illness this year that almost killed me again. I mean, who knows what next year is going to bring? I can't predict these things. I don't know. But it should be pretty eventful considering, you know, the past 3 years' history. So you'll have to stay tuned and find out what happens. Hopefully it's nothing too bad, okay? All right, I'll update you guys again maybe in another few months. All right, take care. Bye-bye.